Say the TV stand for tracks and vocals. You know this is easier than 1, 2, 3. You are now tuned in to Just Swagg TV. Just Swagg TV.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's your name?
DJ Reese Cups.
I love the way you say it. Say it again.
DJ Reese Cups.
Where you from?
All over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't have a home. I'm like what they call a gypsy.
Okay.
I move around a lot. Yeah.
Why'd you move around a lot?
My dad, like we moved around like every 3 years since I was like 9 because of his job. So I was always in a different city every 3, 4 years.
What was that like for you?
Um,
Being able to switch up. I'm sure you didn't keep many friends.
None. Like it's sad because like my high school years, I was only in that high school for like 2.5 years. Then middle school, I was only there for like 3 years. So I don't have a lot of friends from growing up. Elementary, middle school, high school, even like college. Really, I only got like 2 friends from college left that I talk to. So
Where were you born?
born and raised in Arkansas. Remember that town where T.I. went to jail, Forest City, Arkansas? He was in prison there, right there in my town. That's where I was born.
This is how I know how big towns are. How many traffic lights did you have?
Initially, it was 5, but now I think they're up to about 20.
So, what is your town famous for?
um, Al Green, and that's about it.
That's big.
Well, yeah, it's big, and Bill Clinton's from the state, so Bill Clinton, of course. But yeah.
Did you have a lot of soul and things like that in you when it came to, an Al Green type city?
I did. My grandmother listened to, Al Green, BB King, Aretha Franklin. She listened to a lot of stuff like that. So I kind of grew up with it. It's been in me for forever.
You grew up with your mom and dad?
I grew up with both my parents. To a certain degree, my mom had me really, really young, 18. And by the time she was 19, she was like, I got to go to school. So I ended up living with my grandma, my granddad, till my mom graduated college. And then we moved. She met my father. My biological father was never around. So she met the man that's my dad now, that's been there for 30 years, 30 plus years. So I call him dad. She met him in college. He was a big time football player. They got married, and then we moved, and then that's when it all started. Just moving.
Brothers and sisters?
I have a brother through my mom and my dad, and he's 6, 7 years younger than me. So yeah.
So, what was that like being a big sister?
Because of the age difference, like when I was 16, he was like 7 or 8. So it really was. I always felt like I was the only child to a degree because by the time he got to a certain age, I was a teenager and driving and going out and stuff. So it was cool with me. I never had to babysit really because my parents were always home. So hey.
What was the nickname your grandmother used to call you?
Oh my gosh. Fofo.
Fofo.
Yeah.
Why?
Man, I gotta tell this story. Okay, so my name is Philonda Sharice Young, and shortened it when my grandparents' family, whole family calls me Fofo. To this day, I never liked my first name at all. So when I got to a certain age, I was like, I'm gonna start using my middle name, Sharice, for everything. And so, man, I can't believe you asked this question. So when I switched over to Sharice, the family, when I say my entire family, till this day say Fofo. And that's how it came because they shortened Philonda, Pho, Pho. And they call me Fofo. And so only my very, very close family members and maybe a couple of friends still call me that. Everyone else just calls me Sharice or Reese Cubs.
What type of person were you in high school? Were you the most outgoing? Were you musical? Was that the
No.
time you got into it? What type of person were you in high school?
I was athletics. I went to, a predominantly, we always lived in middle, upper class white America where it was only maybe like 10 of us, 10 blacks in the whole community. So I went to high school, a whole bunch of white kids. And back then I had like a real big weight problem. So I was always the big black girl on campus. But I was always very athletic, you know, could play ball, softball, everything, basketball, volleyball. I played like every sport. So I was always the athletic one, but I was the protector because, you know, it wasn't a lot of blacks. And then, you know, the younger classmen, black classmen like freshmen and stuff like that, they were always getting picked on. So I was always the older big girl, big black girl. Who gonna mess with the big black girl? You know, nobody. Everybody was scared of the big black girl, boys and girls. So when it came to that, that's where it was. I didn't get into music until like right before college, and then that's how it all started from there. Although I grew up in the church singing and musician friends and all that and stuff, but when I got into playing music, it was in college. Yes, many. Wow. College, high school, high school. Yeah, it was high school, and it got so heated. The principal jumped in, and I pushed him to the ground and kept beating up the girl. But he was he was pretty linky white guy, tall, bald headed, and he was just trying to break it up. And I was like, nah, like I don't take the disrespect. Like I don't disrespect people, and I don't feel you should be disrespecting me, especially based on my color. You know, privileged people want to talk down as if we're not worthy or anything of that and call out names and using verbiage that's not appropriate for anybody really to call another person out, you know, just trying to be disrespectful in words and all this and that. So I was like, okay, then let's go. Like, let's go right here. Like, I'm done talking. You done went to the ultimate extreme to me. So right there, and everybody was like, right, you know, back then it wasn't phones filming, they just you know, watching. And next thing you know, here come the principal right out the office running right over and to get in between both of us, and I pushed him to the ground. And the girl ended up getting suspended for like 2 weeks, and I didn't get no time because they said I was defending because of what she had said and stuff. So cool.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the ER versus the AH versus the A?
No matter what, it's all the same to me. You know, my parents, I look at it like this. My parents, you know, we just got a lot of rights. My parents' generation. So my parents couldn't vote and all those things when they were younger, and my grandmother definitely couldn't vote up until a certain time. So no matter how it hits or says, it all still goes back to what it was used for. Period. It was used to demoralize, make people feel smaller, like all that, dehumanize. It was used for that term. So to me, ERA or whatever, it's still this. It's the same thing. There's no separating it. It's all the same. We just try to make it cool and make it for the culture. But at the end of the day, yeah, it built us. But when do we get beyond that word? Because we all still get mad when white people say it. So whether they say the A or the ER, we still get mad at them. It don't mean it's the same to me. It's all the same. I don't think we should really be saying it anyway. But I get it. And so who am I to judge?
When you first got into music, what was it about it that drew you to it?
Music for me has always been about a beat. I started playing bass guitar when I was like 21. Picked it up, self-taught myself, and then I started taking a couple lessons here and there, but primarily self-taught myself. But that's why I started playing the bass, was because the beat, it's a rhythm, it's a sound, it's to the soul. So all of that really goes into why I love music, no matter the style of it or the genre. It's a beat, and that beat's got to reach a soul, a piece of me and go deep. So that's what attracted me to music, really. You know, I grew up around a lot of musicians, but something about that bass and that bottom line was always what touched me the most.
What would you say is the best thing that you would do with $1 million?
Ooh. I'm paying off some student loans. I don't have a lot though, thank God I got scholarships, but paying off student loans, giving my parents some money for real, because they have supported me through a lot of stuff financially. I'm gonna give some to the church, just a little bit, because the church and me, I be wanting to lay hands on the church, so I don't know if they're gonna get a lot of money, but they gonna get some. Then other than that, it's investments and savings. That's it.
What is important about savings and investments during this time of COVID?
Man, it got me through. Thank God at the time I had a job where I was able to save a lot of money very quickly. And that sustained me when COVID hit. My career and everything stopped. And I had in the middle of a move as well. So my savings and my investments really carried me from March all the way up until just the end of September. So I had that much savings and investments to really last me, and where I didn't miss a beat really financially, as far as like handling my business. I was still able to do all that. So I think it's very important. I tell people, like, no matter what, you got to save, put something aside, whatever, because times like now, it's crazy. But even without this, that's important to do, especially as Black people. And I don't think we teach our kids that young enough. We don't teach them the ways of things. Hell, my parents didn't teach me a lot of stuff till I got to a certain age where I was messing up. So I think if a lot of things would have started earlier and they showed us, but then too, they don't know. So it's a generational thing. Until they learn it, they can't teach it. So, but now, because my dad has learned it and very well, now he's teaching me and my brother things. But it's never too late to learn. I wish I would have got it at a younger age, like when I was in high school, because I saw the white kids with, you know, financial literacy and things of that nature, but I didn't have it. So, but they help their kids out differently. They kind of set their kids up for things and help them build their credit early. Whereas to with us, we wait till our credit's bad to want to help our kids and things like that. So, it's very important. I always say start young as you can. When you're giving allowances to the kids, teach them then. I think that's very important.
You have any kids?
None.
One?
Yes. Very soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby fever?
No fever, but I feel, I was always that person that I didn't want kids until I got married. Because I saw my mom struggle as a young single parent. So I, learn from examples. We want to do better than our parents. So I didn't want that life. So I've always made a vow to myself that until I get married, I wasn't going to have any kids. And I think I've held on to that very well. I've dated and I've everything. Not like I'm celibate or nothing like that, but I don't want to be a single parent. I know the struggle of a single parent. I'm a product of a single parent. So I want better for my kids. So, hopefully marriage is around the corner and like, very soon. And then after that, hopefully some kids.
With all the females you see out here where they say sex sells, you see them famous selling their bodies on Instagram, things like that. Oh, talking about somebody's in their DM.
Mhm.
How does that make you feel as another female? What message do you think that conveys to people who look at women objectively?
Um, I say this to each his own, because everyone, you're catering to somebody. Not all men want that type of female or want that image of a type of female. Some men and women want another type. They want a different image. So if I'm not looking for the person that's selling their body online, then that's not what I'm going to find. But if I'm always looking for it, then that's what you're going to always see. Do I agree with it necessarily? No. Do I feel it has hurt those women that don't do that? Yes. But I think those women that don't sell their bodies and put their sexuality out there are still getting attention. And it's just not the attention that everyone talks about. And OnlyFans, all that, hey, they making money. If I was bold enough to do it, hey, and had the body and purchase some face stuff and purchase some other body parts, I'll probably do it too. They making a lot of money in a time where ain't no one's making money. So I can't knock them for it. But does it hurt females that aren't doing it? It does, because certain guys, what you attract is looking, those men that are looking for that, they expect it out of you. But if you attracting doctors and lawyers and, people that work regular 9 to 5s, then that over there don't matter.
Where did the name DJ Reese come from?
My favorite candy, and then my nickname Sharice is Reese, or Reese. So my favorite candy has always been Reese's Cups, and since I did my name change, I've always been Reese. So when I started DJing, I was like, "Yo, Reese Cups would be dope." I was like, "Yeah, they already call me Reese anyway, so let's do it." And I used to hand out Reese Cups. No lie, when I DJ'd, like all the time, I had a big candy jar. I used to travel with me, hand out Reese Cups. I had Reese Cup models. They would walk around giving people candy and shit. Like, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
What were some of the struggles and challenges that you went through starting out as a female DJ?
Being overlooked sometimes, watching guys who were way worse than me as a DJ get gigs, watching females way worse than me get gigs. But definitely, I think that's one of the hardest things was when you start seeing people that you feel you're better than. You're like, man, they're in your eyes, they're succeeding. But yeah, I think that's been the one big thing.
What's coming up for you this year? 2020, 2021.
A lot, a lot. I work with mp3wax.com. I work with Shea Star Entertainment Group. I work with True Radio, Respect the DJs, Gager. So I work with a lot of different entities and things like that. DFD Music, I'm doing some work with them. So I just continue to work and grind and hustle and work with these indie artists and trying to, in that, still working on DJ Reese Cup and building that brand up of, myself and the things that I do. So I always just try to be, that's it. Like, that's what I'm just working on, just trying to be better in all areas that I've touched.
What would you say to independent artists coming from the north,
Mm.
moving to the south? What would you say to them about the culture in the south?
As far as the music industry culture,
Sure.
it's different. Um, it's, you really gotta put your face out there and make your way around. And I'll use Atlanta, especially in Atlanta. When you move here from other states, the best thing to do is to work and to move and to network around and meet a lot of different people and build your own relationships with these individuals, whatever it may be, if that's what you want to do with that person. If not, it's 20 other people that's doing the same thing that person, and you'll find somebody that you like. But you got to make your way around. I tell artists all the time that's from Florida and up north and Cali, like, you all are trying to make it in the industry, but none of y'all have been to Atlanta at one time at all. The hip hop, R&B mecca, music mecca, really, of the South, you have yet to be in. I think it's of the country, because I think Atlanta really do control all the music, but that's just me. So I just tell people, you got to work. You got to work and make your way around and be seen and heard, whether you good or bad. There's some bad ones in Atlanta that's seen and heard a lot, and they making it. And there's some good ones in Atlanta that's been seen and heard a lot, and they making it. So you just got to put yourself out there and work. And that's for everybody, whether you're an artist, producer, blogger, DJ, whatever. You got to come and work, and you get out there.
Are you ready for the movie scene? Acting?
It's funny because I've been asked that a few times. I've been like, they asked to come on sets and stuff, and I'm like, nah, that ain't my thing. I'm a behind the scenes type of person, like, for real. I like to be like, I was a part of that project. That's me. Like, not I was in the camera. I want to be an actress or whatever. Like, the furthest I think I'll go, like, TV, maybe it'll be like some type, what I'm already doing now, just moving over to a TV, hosting, dealing with artists or whatever, but nothing where I want to be on set for 2 weeks and filming. That ain't my thing. Now, if I'm the one that's picking the music for the movie or the TV show, bet. That's the job I want over being in front of the camera, as the person they're scoring the movie or, you know, picking the songs or whatever, you know, helping get people dressed or something like that. Like, I'm good.
How does police, when you hear police brutality, what does that sound like to you?
It sounds like Rodney King. That's what it sounds like to me. That's period. That's it. Anybody say police brutality, I immediately go to Rodney King, and then it just works its way down. So, yeah.
What do you think about George Floyd, Sandra Bland,
Um,
Lancaster, people who have passed away because of police brutality?
I definitely feel the same way I felt about anybody. You know, it's I say this, it's 2020 and we're still dealing with stuff that we dealt with in the 1940s and 50s and 20s. So pertaining to the police. So I mean, at some point we got to realize that the cycle it's broken. The whole system is broken. And for people of color, especially like the George Floyds and the Sandra Blands and all these people to still be losing their life because of police brutality, or I'll say this, I think it's just a lack of care. Like they don't have there's no empathy or sympathy for people of color anymore. It's like, oh, y'all all the same. You know, there's nothing. It's like they just don't care. But it's sad that in 2020 we still having this conversation. You know, my parents went through this, and my parents are 59 and 58. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a generation back. That's nothing. My grandmother went through it growing up in the South and slavery and working in the cotton fields and working in factories and all this type of stuff. You know, my grandfather fought a war for this country and still couldn't vote. This my granddad. This ain't my great grandparents or someone. So I think it's something where at the end of the day, we got to realize like what our ancestors went through, what our parents and grandparents went through, just for us to have these moments to change what's been going on in society for decades. We still losing innocent black people to police brutality for no reason. And all we got to do as a culture, if we doing something for the culture, then let's put our own stuff together and let's put our own people in office and vote. We get who we want in office as long as we all come out and vote. Period. You had Georgia, Atlanta itself. 500,000 people didn't vote last year, and Trump won Georgia by 30,000 votes. But you got 500,000 people not even voting. So at the end of the day, we get what we get because of what we doing. We not changing nothing. We got to go to the polls and change and put the people in office that's going to look out for us as well. And that's going to got a plan for us as well, because all those plans don't work for everybody, as we see. You gotta put a plan together for the black community, for the brown, the yellow, all these, where you gotta make sure it's all equal rights, and it ain't all equal for nobody. It's not, except for one. And when you got 1 out of 10, the other 9 gonna be mad.
DJ Reese Cup, tell people how to get in touch with you. What you got going on at the news? What you got coming up?
You know, I work with True Radio. I do a independent music review that I every week called $2 Tuesdays. Play the music review, and that's what I'm working on right now, and about to expand that into some things. Um, so that's what I've been like really putting a lot of stuff behind. And then of course, you know, I got little side stuff that I'm doing. I try not to give all my business, but everybody can follow me on Instagram, DJ Reese Cup. That's DJRESSIECUPS. And that's how I'm moving, just like that. Still working with indie artists, still doing interviews with indie artists, industry people, producers, you know, all type of music executives, business owners. So I just do that for True Radio on top of me DJing. I travel and DJ still. I'm still on the road DJing, going. And because that's what I love to do.
DJ Reese's Cup. Reese Cup. I like saying that. DJ Reese's Cup. I want one. Do you have Reese's Cup on you?
I just ate it actually before I literally went to the store and grabbed some candy and a Red Bull. I did, and I ate it sitting right out there waiting. I did. I ain't gonna front.
Next time you come here, you bring some Reese's.
I'm gonna bring a whole jar next time. I promise you. I promise you.
Thank you so much for coming to Just Swag TV to Block. It has definitely been a pleasure, and thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it for real. It's always good to be on the other side. What's up? This your girl DJ Reese Cup. We in full effect with JSTV TV on the block. Make sure you keep up with me on Instagram. That's DJ RESSIECUPS, where you can find me doing the hottest things on TrueRadio.com.
What's going on, man? It's your boy DJ Swagg, aka you know who I am, man. Just Swagg TV the block. Make sure you go check out that interview live on YouTube right now with DJ Reese Cup. She was in the building with me. It was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, man. It's been dope, man. Make sure y'all go check it out. It's on YouTube right now. And don't forget, take the block with you.
Swagg, swag, 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 swag. Yeah. Just Swagg TV.